Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Influenced by Kim. I'm your host, Hofi Kim Cohen Myers, and I am so grateful to have you here. It has been a moment since I've posted a podcast episode, which I kind of pre-warned you on episode 1 that might happen from time to time. And normally when that happens is when life becomes obviously overwhelming. That's one of the reasons. Or I am going through something, I'm processing something. I'm in you know how there's the teacher and student chair? So I'm in the student chair from the universe, and I'm wow, I'm processing a lesson, a life-changing lesson that's happening. I'm having a lot of breakthroughs, epiphanies, analyzing the information. And I feel like that's a really important piece of being the teacher and the mentor and the coach is, knowing how to be the teacher and knowing when to be the student, and bringing inward new lessons and things. And then the other reason is normally if I'm creating something, I'm working on a new launch, I'm creating something, I'm brainstorming. And so I have this personality type. I've had to learn how to navigate, I guess, everything. But I'm a very, very creative person, and I get really excited over things. And then I get really excited over things, and I've learned through the years that I need to be fixated and focused on one thing at a time until I get the bicycle moving, and I learn to ride the bike and things are moving, and there's a foundation. Yeah, I guess that's what it is. After there's a foundation or something, then I'm okay, now I can lean into other things, but I still like to make sure that the foundation is so fucking concrete so that it's a good foundation for whatever it is, whether it's I'm working on a new fitness thing, which I'm doing now, or whether I'm working on launching a brand new course or a masterclass or a program, or whether it's just things whatever it is, or I'm just venturing off on a new social media platform that maybe I've never tapped into, or maybe I neglected and now I'm going back to, or I don't know. I'm always the type of person that's always being inspired constantly. And yeah, so there are always different reasons. So if I'm not posting consistently on here, which I would love to do, obviously I would love to do that. And I always say this, there's so many podcast episodes that need to be edited and actually published. But if I'm not on here, know that I have not neglected the podcast. It's too important to me. And yeah, it's, or I'm learning a lesson, or I'm creating something new, or just life is becoming overwhelming. And so I feel not that I need to justify the fact that no one's paying me to do this podcast. I'm doing it out of my heart because I'm just passionate about this, and I want to help drive a message to people and help inspire them and all the things. But I just kind of wanted to give you guys a 411 download. But what actually ended up happening was it was a series of all these things that happened recently. And it's really important for me to always regulate my nervous system. So I don't like to overwhelm myself with different things and feel like I'm in the chasing energy. I just don't feel like that's leadership. Being in the chasing energy is just lack and leaky energy. And then there is also this aspect that's I love to be fully intentional with everything that I do. And so if I don't like to just do things just to do them, just to say that I did them. My ideology and morals and values are really against doing shit without meaning and purpose and drive and ambition and intention behind it. So it's I don't want to just show up just to show up, so those are different things. Yeah, but what I wanted to talk about today is a couple of different things. We're going to be talking about outgrowing a certain scenario, circumstance, or a dynamic, I guess we'll call it that. Hanging out with your younger self and all the things. So without further ado, let's just dive into it. Okay. So recently there's been a new trend on social media, which I just posted mine. And it's called I Met My Younger Self for Coffee. And this is honestly my favorite social media trend that I've seen in a million years. I don't know what my last favorite one was, but this is, I feel the most deepest one. And I'm actually so profoundly excited that so many people partook in this. And if you don't know, on Instagram, I have my Instagram account, but then I also have like an Instagram channel, those channels. So if you want to know like the step by step on how to do this yourself, I gave instructions in my channel. You can just join my channel. I just give different like tips there about manifestation and money and mindset, and just, spiritual fun things, inspirational, motivational stuff on there that I pop in there every once in a while. And the whole thing behind the trend of I met my younger self for coffee is basically, being who you are today, here in the now, and then going out and hanging out with the younger version of yourself. And essentially the prompt for this, there's not like an official prompt, although there is and there isn't. Most people normally start it with like, if your younger self showed up early or late versus the you now, what they ordered versus what you ordered. And then sometimes people like to add in like clothes that they wore versus what you wore. And essentially it's like you're having a conversation with your younger self, and it's kind of like this back and forth dialect of like, what would your younger self, I have all these questions. Go to the Instagram channel. I'm telling you, it's all there. It's actually like, I feel like in my beautiful magical world, I feel like everyone should do this exercise. It's so fucking healing. It's so powerful. It's so healing. It's profound, really. That's why it's one of my favorite trends. And so it's like, what would your younger self ask your current self? What would they want to know? And how would you feel like hanging out with your younger self? And I feel like your younger self, it's not your kid self. It's not like you being a kid. I don't feel like it's you being a teenager. I guess it just depends how old you are. But like, I feel like in like middle of high school, we kind of just start to maybe a little bit like step into like, I feel like middle high school. Like, I don't know if it's like 10th or 11th or 12th grade, but like somewhere in the middle. It's not 9th grade. That's too young. I also don't feel like it's fully 10th grade. I feel like it's like end of 10th grade or like 11th grade. You're kind of like on the peak and on the verge of like kind of, this is who you're going to be for the most part, not the whole thing, but like definitely when I look back at myself, but then also, oh my God, this is so wild. So I didn't even think I was going to talk about this, but this is so wild. So like the week that I was getting married in Italy, my high school had their high school, what is it called? Reunion. We didn't have a 10-year reunion, which I was so bummed about, but we had a 20-year reunion. And I always dreamt of being in my high school reunion. It just seemed like the most, you know me, I love my movies. I love these like cliche, cheesy movie-like moments. And obviously one of my favorite movies when it comes to the shit is like Romeo and Michelle's high school reunion. The movie's so fucking funny. It always reminds me of me and my brother. It's actually funny because me and my brother have this like very different dynamic than me and like the rest of my sisters. Like in theory, I always feel like I'm closer to my sisters than my brother, maybe because they're girls, but I don't even think it's that. I kind of like raise them. I kind of treat them as my own children. And I took a lot of pride in a lot of times throughout the years since they were born to like raise them and teach them all the things that like no one taught me, that I had to learn the hard way through life. But with my brother, so my sister, let's go through the list. My brother's 3 years younger than me. Then I have my middle sister, Coco, who is 10 years younger than me. And then I have baby Almog, who is 18 years younger than me. And it's all the same parents. It's just crazy age gap. So I could have literally been Almog, baby sis. I always call her baby sis on social media as mom, because she's literally 18 years younger than me. And I used to like secretly fuck with her in like a cute way and tell her that I'm secretly her mom, that I just had her at a really young age, but I'm secretly her mom. So if mommy ever gets mad at you, like don't even listen because I'm really your real mom. It's so funny. And then my sister Coco, I'll talk about that in a minute, but my brother are so funny because like I think that because maybe we're boy and girl and for a really long time, for like 10 years, 10 years, I don't know, less, what do I want to say, like 7 years, it was just me and him. Right? It was just me and Dolov. And it's like, I always feel like me and my brother grew up in like a completely different timelines. We're obviously 80s and 90s babies. Like, I was born in 85, he was born in 88. We went through so many amazing memories in the 90s, in the early 2000s. And there is such a nostalgic aspect to just having my brother be 3 years younger than me. And so even though we bicker and fight, not anymore. We worked through so much of our problems and things that we had like growing up that were just like these broken patterns for years. We have this very like, it's ours. It's just ours. We have this very nostalgic memories that's like only I know and only he knows, you know, like because we're so close in age that like our sisters would never know. Our sisters would never know like what it's like to go see like the premiere of The Lion King on its opening day on Dolov's birthday, right? In the movie theater, or like, you know, when the Little Mermaid came out, we would like lived in Israel. Like I think I was 5 and he was like 3, and like we went to see it in the theater. Like that's fucking crazy. Or like the endless hours that we used to play like Sega, like Nintendo, and oh my god, that game Crash, and just certain, you know, like we went to an NSYNC concert together. We loved it. It was our first concert. And we just have certain movies that we just watched a billion times. And just these things, whether it's like candy or toys or movies or shows or Nickelodeon or just these like jokes and things that like, you know, like if you were born in the 80s or early 90s, then you like get it. And it's just this like really fucking cool shit that like me and my brother have. And it's funny sometimes for my birthday, he buys me things. Oh my God, I just remembered he buys me things that are like nostalgic only to us and like so fucking funny. Like we used to collect stickers, and Dolov is such a hoarder. Like he just collects everything. Dolov's my brother. He just collects everything. I would love to do that. I would have loved to do that. I'm very like sentimental. I think all the Coens are very sentimental. And we're like little hoarders. The only problem is like my mom is a major hoarder. Dolov's a major hoarder. But like I would have loved to be that. I just moved so many fucking times and put shit into storage and like didn't pay it on time and like had my shit fucking taken and sold. And like I was so irresponsible in so many different timelines in my life that like I would have like, I don't even have my yearbooks because I moved and I left it in a storage and it like I didn't pay. I forgot and like it just got taken. Dolov saved all the things, and one of the cutest thing, I'm just like having all these downloads for my wedding. He got me and Ben like a gift. He gave us money. He gave us a gift, and then he had this like, it's so fucking cute. He had this like little bag. Now, mind you, I'm like 39. He had this little bag. I had just turned 39. I'm almost 30. No, I am. I'm 39 and a half. But like, he had this little bag, this Ziploc bag with Pogs. Do you guys remember Pogs? Oh my God. My brother had these Pogs that were ours. We used to like trade with the neighborhood kids, and there were ones that were my fucking favorite. And he saved them since we were fucking kids. That's so beautiful and amazing. And he literally gifted me like my favorite ones. And there were other like fun stickers that we used to buy, like Pizza Hut, through this like machine that he like put as part of like my cute little wedding gift. Obviously, he gave me, like I said, like money and other gifts and other things. But like that shit melted my heart because it was so unexpected. And so me and Dolov have these like things that are just ours and I fucking obsess over and I love. But then one of our favorite movies growing up was Romeo and Michelle's high school reunion. And we just watched that shit so many fucking times. We used to quote it constantly. Oh, Ramon, discover me, Ramon, just discover me. Like, we just always quoted the fuck out of that movie. Like, it's so funny, but it's so our movie. We watched it 100 million times. And that movie is basically two fucking dumb, funny girls. They're on their way to the high school reunion. They were like nerds in high school. And their life looks exactly the same, like, after all these years. But they want to, like, go to their high school reunion and just, like, impress everyone. So they come up with, like, this, like, plan on how they're just going to impress everyone and blow everyone's fucking minds away. And I always thought that my high school reunion I just wanted to be Romeo. Like, I wasn't a fucking nerd. I was actually popular, but I was the girl that you hated or loved. So everyone knew who I was. I had so much fucking haters, but I had so many people that loved me. I didn't belong into a group. I belonged to like everyone's group. And like lunch, I would just like pop into everyone's groups. Like one day I would hang out with the basketball players, and a different day I'd hang out with the cheerleaders, and a different day I would be with the drama kids. I just like didn't belong really inside of a group, and I just knew everyone. And I always had these like ideas of like what it would be like to go to my high school reunion. Because everyone knew who I was, and I was like a brand name, and everyone always called me Kim Cohen. Did you hear what Kim Cohen did? Oh my God, I hate Kim Cohen. Oh my God, I love Kim Cohen. It was just like, I felt like it was like Mean Girls. It was some shit out of the movies. Everyone knew who I was, and I just always wanted to come back with like this fucking epic ass stories and be like, to the motherfucking haters, suck my dick, I fucking made it, now what? I had so many people wrote in my high school yearbook, I hope that you become famous. You're gonna be famous one day. Like it was funny shit. They weren't like off, like they knew I was like set up to do like big things. But I feel like, see, that's the thing, that when we go back to like the yearbook, I mean, who you are and like as a teenager, there's like 11th grade where you're kind of like, people kind of already know like what you're gonna turn out to be. And when I look back at all the people that I went to high school with, and I look at like their last few years, like last 2 years of high school, like they really did become who they were back then-ish. Anyways, I was really bummed out that we did not have a 10-year anniversary. And then I literally waited for this my whole fucking life to just be like, fuck you all. Like, like the most epic, amazing way ever. And that it ended up being that my high school reunion was the week of my wedding, and I missed it. And I would have just loved to go. I like can't even believe that like movie like moment was taken away from me. I just dreamed of that because of the high school, that movie, Romeo and Michelle's high school reunion. Like I still wanted to fucking be in that movie. I still wanted that experience. So anyways, that's Romeo and Michelle's high school reunion is like a thing with me and my brother, that like it's our special nostalgic relationship. Who we are in high school, all of that. And so when you're thinking about my younger self, right? Like I went to coffee with my younger self. I don't feel like, it depends how old you are. Like if you're in your 20s, which I don't really believe that I have too many people that are under 20 listening to my podcast. Like I actually have statistics that I know that that's not actually true, but I do have people in their 20s listening. But I feel like if you want to like pretend like you're meeting with your 18-year-old self, that's fine. If you want to pretend like you're meeting with your 21-year-old self, that's fine. I think that like when I did, I don't think I know. Like when I did I met my younger self for coffee, I was thinking about like my 21-year-old self, because she was just such a motherfucking character. She was a fucking character. Like I was thinking about my 20-year-old self, my 21-year-old self. And so anyways, whether you're a social media person or not, you should just do this exercise. Go to my Instagram channel and just like do the prompt that's on there. Whether you're going to post it on social media or not, or just like put it in a notebook, journal about it. Like, I don't know. I feel like it's so, so healing. Like, what would your younger self ask your current self? How would you observe your younger self? I took this shit really seriously. I was trying to write mine for like literally 2.5 weeks. Yeah. It's kind of ridiculous. And I kept writing and deleting, and not deleting, but like writing and trying to make it shorter. But then I can't be anything than who I am. And my shit is so fucking long and ridiculous. And that's like the shorter version. But I really took this as as just an exercise to like go deep down inside myself and like heal like my wounds. Like we all have wounds. We always have things to heal, like our traumas, our past, things that we have to forgive ourselves for. There's so many beautiful things that get to happen through that exercise. And mine was like, I actually dissected like almost every category in my life. Like the way that I wrote mine is like, if Chofit, which she did not go by Chofit when she was 21 or 20, she was Kim Cohen. She was still that brand name from high school. So if I hung out with Kim Cohen at the age of 20, like what would she want to ask me? What would she want to know? Knowing her, this is actually like a thing that growing up, I always had this fear that I was going to die really young. Knock wood. I'm knocking wood. And it actually comes from like, it's actually like a real thing. I've always had a hardcore fear with death. When I was little, this is actually a really fucking crazy story. I never know what's going to come out of my mouth during these podcast episodes. I always think that I know what I'm going to talk about, and then it just kind of like, different things happen. So here we are. But when I was little, so me, my brother, and mom used to go to Israel every single summer after we moved to America. We would like stay at my grandparents' house. And we would go to Israel for like a month or two, minimum, like I feel like a month and a half to like definitely 2 months every summer for endless years. And on one of the summers, this is such a fucking crazy ass story, Jesus Christ. On one of the summers, we were in Tel Aviv, the three of us. My dad was in America. We never went to Israel as a kid with my dad. He just always worked. And then we would go the three of us. This is before my sisters were born. And then it's like we would go back. And then my dad would go by himself all the time to visit his family and stuff. But okay, summer, sometime in the 90s, I want to say, okay, download told me 98. Like the universe told me 98, but I want to say like, fine. Like we could say 98, even though like I don't know if that's actually accurate, but like I want to say like 96, 97. But the universe is telling me 98. But anyways, the accuracy level in my brain constantly is just such a battle. Just, on point, because I'm just like a visual person. So I like all the information to be like exact. And numbers and dates are important to me. So I actually looked this up, and this happened on October 19th, 1994. This is like, I think we moved to America in 93. In December, we moved on Christmas Eve to America in 93. So this was, I guess, like our first trip back to Israel. I think maybe because my uncle was getting married or something. But yep, this like makes sense. I actually looked up all the events that happened in relations to this story in Israel. I looked up 98, but it did not happen in 98. It happened in 1994. So that would mean that I was 9 years old. And my brother would have been 6. So that makes sense why he could have not hold his pee. Let me continue. So we were in Tel Aviv. The story is so fucking fucked up and nuts and insane. And we would, we didn't have that much money, and we would definitely take the bus. And the bus was not like this bad thing. It's like in Israel, it's very clean. It's very common. Most people don't have cars. It's hard to find parking in Tel Aviv. It's just like the epitome of like New York. Like you don't really have a car in New York. You walk everywhere. You walk crazy distances. You hop on a bus. You get off at the next stop. Like it's just like public transportation is a really big thing. Okay, we're standing at the bus station. The bus station stop on this street called Dizengoff, which is like a very busy main street. And we're waiting for the bus. My brother was like small. That's just like what I really remember. Like I want to say my brother was like, I'm like trying to think. Like he was probably like 6 or 7. We were waiting for the bus, and it was kind of taking a while. I don't know if it was taking a while, but we started waiting for the bus. And my brother said he has to pee. And my mom is like, hold it in till we get on the bus to go to the next stop. And he's like, no, I really have to pee. And he was holding his pee-pee, and he was just like, how his hands covering his penis. And he's just like, I have to pee. And he's trying to hold it in, and he can't. He starts literally crying. And my mom gets so fucking annoyed with him. We both do. We're just like, why can't you wait? Like, just be patient. It's like only 5 more minutes. Like, we're going to miss the bus. I'm going to have to wait longer. We're just like so annoyed, but he's literally fucking bawling his eyes out and he's crying. So we take him. I don't know, like, in Tel Aviv back then, like, I don't think that you could just walk into a shop and just piss. Like, I feel like maybe we took him behind a building, or maybe there was an actual bathroom, but we took him, and we got really annoyed because it was like, and we came back to the same station, and now we're waiting and waiting and waiting and waiting. And now we're just getting so angry at him because now we missed the bus, and now it's taking forever. And, yeah, like it's just taking forever, and we're frustrated, and we're freaking annoyed, and we're so over it, and we're blaming it on him. And now we've been standing there for a half an hour. Like, what the fuck? Where is this fucking bus? And there was this like little what do I want to call it? This little stand, this little like shop stand behind us. I remember this shit like it was yesterday. It's so clear in my fucking mind. Like, it's insane. Like, I can just tap into that memory like it happened yesterday. There was this little shop. The shop, I don't want to say it's a 7-Eleven, but it like has, it's like a convenience store. It's like this little store that has like nuts and snacks and Coke and, people buy cigarettes and the lottery there. And this was in the 90s. So, TVs weren't that common, but this man definitely had this like tiny little TV, very tiny little TV. And my mom goes in there and she's like, hey, like, excuse me, like, did you see, like, did the bus come? Like, what's taking so long? And the man is like zoned out, staring at the TV. And mom was like, hello. And he like woke up, he like snapped out of it, right? He was just like, what? Like, and she's like, where's the bus? Did you see it? And he's like, yeah, it just blew up. And we were like, what? And we glanced over at the TV, and the bus that we were supposed to go on blew up. This is like some Final Destination shit, you guys. It blew up, aka there was a terrorist on the bus, and it did like a suicide bomb, and the bus blew up into a billion pieces, and everyone died. I think it was like 53 people died. Had my brother not needed to pee, we would have gone on that bus and died. It's fucking insane. And we just couldn't, we were speechless. So like the bus literally blew up. Like after it picked up our stop, it went further down the street and made like a right turn and then like blew up and everyone died. And we were in shock, speechless, like traumatized, completely traumatized, like trying to conceptualize what the fuck we just heard as we're seeing it on TV, as we're seeing this bus that we were supposed to be on burnt into a million pieces. No one made it alive. Yeah, it's actually a really fucking insane ass story. And so let me tell you this. From that day forward, I was motherfucking petrified to ever be on a bus. I have had like serious like PTSD, if you can call it that, like from that incident. Like growing up, I was petrified. I did take the bus, but I was petrified like a motherfucker. It could have never looked like a similar bus to it. It could have never been inside of Tel Aviv. What ended up happening, this was like the first bus that blew up in the 90s in Tel Aviv, in a really like public main place. And I can't even like breathe when I talk about this. Like I just cringe because I just see it in my brain like so clearly. The bus blew up, and after that a series of unfortunate events started to happen where for the next couple of years buses were being blown up by terrorist attack, like Hamas terrorist attacks were happening on an everyday base, sometimes multiple times a day in Tel Aviv and in the entire country of Israel, more so in Tel Aviv and in Jerusalem. And it's just insane. They would blow up cafes, they would blow up buses, but their main thing was buses because they knew that they can like kill like over 50 people in one stop because people on the bus like stood. It's like it just gets really busy like a subway and people just stand. And so many people died in Israel over these fucking bus blow up, but that was the first one. And so I always felt like I cheated death. And for years, even when I go to Israel, like you take me to Israel tomorrow, which no thank you, I don't want to go because I'm petrified and I have PTSD from like the wars and all the things. But if I'm in a car and there's a bus in front of me and there is a red light, I will not let whoever's driving cannot get close to that bus. Like I freak the fuck out. I go full blown like anxiety that I'm scared that bus might blow up and we will die because we're the car behind them. I have major like fears over that. And it's so fucking crazy. Like I have major fears over that. And yeah, I can't conceptualize. Like I'm petrified. So when it goes back to my younger self was always scared that she was going to die because at a young age because she like cheated death. So my younger self always rushed. Oh, I rushed because I was scared I was going to die and not going to complete all of my dreams and do everything that I wanted to do on this planet. And also, I I also just was a very impatient person. I was like that kid from Willy Wonka, that girl that's like, don't care how I want it now. Like, I was that girl from Willy Wonka. I didn't give a fuck. I wanted it. I wanted everything happen fast, now, here, instant gratification, snap, snap, boom, boom. Like, give it to me right now. Don't want to fucking wait. And my younger self, like, she was obsessed with going to psychics and trying to figure out like her future and when things were going to happen. And, you know, always dating men and thinking that she's going to get married young and wanting to be famous young and everything young, now, here, now. And I just know that she would have so many fucking questions for my current self. And so I was having this dialect conversation in that reel that I shared onto Instagram, which is that trend. And so like I feel like there is so much that she would have loved to know from my current self. And so you know what? I'm thinking about it, and I feel like what I should do is just share what I wrote on mine. This is like the edited version, but I'll share what I wrote because I wrote a lot. And this is the thing about it is I talk to my other best friend Kelly about this often. It's like this ongoing theme that we always talk about where as a social media content creator, influencer, whatever, a person that posts on social media lots, but like somebody who actually gives a fuck, right? Like, you know, it's like our career, it's our passion, it's our whatever, right? Like there comes a point where you have to create like clear discernment and have a clear understanding about the type of content that you're creating. And we as content creator, this is like Kelly and I are always like our go-to people. We feel like we're the only, you know, first of all, we met on Instagram and we became best friends. And she was my bridesmaids at my wedding. And she's just like the most beautiful soul ever. And one of our main common things, I guess, that like makes us like, we have a lot of things that are in common, but one of our main one is obviously like our initial relationship, which is social media and influencing and all the things. And I was actually the person, I discovered Kelly on Instagram and I found her account and I just started mentoring her and coaching her. Like no one asked, but I was like, hey, this is really good. You should actually turn this into a career. Like your photos are fucking insane. Like, are you an influencer? And she's like, no. And I was like, dude, you have to be. And I started to just coach her and mentor her. And I'm like, okay, post more of this. Now post this. Now do this. Now do that. And she did. Like, and she literally made a fucking career out of it. And she does now. And I'm so proud of her. In the beginning, she's just like, no, I just work remotely and take pictures. And, you know, I travel with my husband around the world and I just post pictures. And I was like, dude, you need to be making money off of this. I always see people's greatest potential. And I'm just so happy that I told her and that she listened. It's not about me just telling her. It's about that she actually listened. And so we went on a press trip together and we always like vibe off of each other. We're each other's biggest cheerleader. When we need to vent or strategize or talk or like try to figure out some Instagram new fucking algorithm scheme that's going on right now, we always give each other like tips on like, ooh, recently I tried this new thing and it got me it got me 24,000 views. So you should try it too. So actually Kelly was the one that posted the I met myself for coffee, my younger self for coffee post. I saw her post it. I fucking cried. I first thought that she wrote it. Like she came up with the whole concept by herself and I saw it. I was like, this is the best thing I've ever fucking heard. This needs to get millions of views. I was so moved by hers. And then she's like, I'm like, oh my God, that was so good. I can't even breathe. And then she's like, yeah, it's actually a trend. And I'm like, it is. Because I was like, this is so good. I want to steal it. And she's like, you're not going to steal it because it's like an actual trend over on TikTok that's, being moved to Instagram, because that's what always happens. Trends become big on TikTok first and then they move to Instagram. Instagram is like, it seems as though that TikTok is the older sibling of social media in a way, even though Facebook is. But what ended up happening is once upon a time and forever, Instagram will always be, I mean, not always, but like for the current timeline, it's the number one social media platform. But what happens is TikTok was born later, but is like an old soul that's kind of like the bigger sibling, because whatever happens on TikTok always then happens on Instagram. But if you want to know like trends and things, like whatever happens on TikTok, whether it's trends or how people perceive information or how people go viral or how people just like the things that I don't know how to like verbalize this without showing you guys this, but like ideally like things that currently blow you up on Instagram don't necessarily blow you up on TikTok. It's not the same thing. TikTok is always ahead of the game. And I have an entire masterclass on this called the TikTok game. It's not just for TikTok, because now it actually applies to Instagram, and it basically teaches you how to get 10,000, like have an account, to start a brand new account from scratch, from zero, blow it up to 10K in under 30 days, how to never run out of content ideas, how to always make money from your content. It's an amazing, amazing masterclass, the TikTok game. I'm going to link it in the show notes. It's my second, if not my first, like most sold out masterclass. It's amazing. But TikTok always knows the trends before, and then it moves over to Instagram. So anyways, when I talk about this trend, so me and Kelly, I'm going to go back to me and Kel. But so I saw it on Kelly's thing. I was so inspired by it. And then I saw everyone else start posting it on Instagram. And then I was like, okay, I have to do this too. But like, I don't know how to start this. But me and Kelly have this thing where we've had to realize over the years, we came to this conclusion. I feel like maybe Kelly was struggling with, okay, I'll explain it this way. On social media, there are things that will go viral. And sometimes those things aren't the things that you personally are passionate about posting, but you know that they're going to do really good. And as a working business, you always want to have new people diving into your content. You always want new people to discover your account and your page. You always want to grow, right? Make more money, grow, have more followers, have more people discover you, inspire more people. I think it's like our biggest one. Being creative, having more people see our creativity. Like we're always, anybody on social media that actually cares about their following and their account and spends an insane amount of time like curating their Instagram feed to look beautiful gets what I'm talking about. And it's like, there are things that will blow up because that people really want to see this side of you or want to see this type of content from you. Okay, there's that. But we've noticed that those things don't necessarily mean that there are things that like make us feel fucking good in our heart. Like it's not like, oh my God, we hate posting this and we're posting this even though we're cringe about it. No. But there are other things that you, as the creator, as the influencer, as the public figure, as the content creator on the other side, there are things that you just love to post because you just love to post. And you know that they're not going to fucking perform well. And you know what? This is what I had to teach Cal. I'm like, you still have to post those anyways. Even when you know they're not going to perform so well, you have to do it. Why? For your soul. Because if you stop having fun and stop being in the creative energy and stop having fun and enjoying what you're doing and you're just posting to people please, you're going to have stagnant energy around it. It's not going to be fun. You're going to end up hating Instagram and social media and TikTok because you're going to be like, I'm posting these things, but I don't really like to post these things, but people aren't liking. It's just going to be this battle. Me and Kelly can literally talk about like all this social media shit for like a billion hours. But there has to be a split an hour. And like me as a coach, I used to do coaching one-on-one for a really long time, teaching people how to become influencers from scratch, how to turn like your passions, the things that you love, the niches and things that you love, and like create an entire career out of it on social media. This is like in 2020, when I started doing coaching one-on-one for people, this is what I was hired to do. I was hired to take people's things that they're passionate about. Like somebody can be like, okay, I love fashion. No, I love beauty and travel. How do I like that? I want that to be my niche. And then I craft for them an entire like roadmap plan of how they're going to make money from it, how their content is going to look, what kind of content to create, how to blow up on social media, how to make content, how to understand the whole like Instagram, like where everything goes, how to land like brand deals. Like it was a whole 12-week program. I don't run it anymore, but if anyone is interested in learning how to be an influencer, like maybe if I had a good amount of people, like a decent amount of people that were interested in that, I would then create maybe like a group coaching program, because it's something I'm still really passionate about. Like I just love making people's dream come true. But that's like under the niche of like influencer and content creating and all the things. But I love how this conversation went from like nostalgic to like content creating and social media and your younger self and all the things. That's just what happens in my world. You guys know you guys know the drill. But anyways, here's the thing. So there are videos that you know are just going to go viral because they're going to go viral, but you necessarily don't feel like so like wowed by it, And then there's things that your soul just craves and needs, it wants. And like ultimately at the end of the day, being an influencer, being a content creator, showing up and, posting on Instagram consistently and growing your following, like you really have to be creative and you have to have a passion towards it, and it has to mean something to you. And the moment that you lose the meaning of it, it's just like meaningless and pointless, and you're just going to hate it and you're going to feel cringe about it. And so because of that, you have to post things that sometimes, they're not going to get like a big reaction, but you just want to and need to for your heart and fucking soul, because it has to be you and it has to be for like the right reason. And I always preach this like as a coach and as a mentor, like first and foremost, it has to be for you and then for everyone else. Like you can want to be an influencer to want to inspire people, right? Inspire people, make people step outside of their comfort zone, make people be more courageous, help people get fitter, healthier, or whatever it is, right? But first and foremost, it has to be for you and then everyone else. Otherwise, you're always going to be at lack. You're always going to be people pleasing. You're never going to be satisfied. You're always going to be in the chase energy. And so it always has to be first and foremost for you and then for the rest of the world. It's like my honest opinion, because I've seen so many different variations of how people do this, and I see who fails and who goes long term, and I know the reasons of why. So back to the point is like the trend. I know and I knew that my post probably wouldn't get that much likes, because most people don't have patience to sit there and read this long ass post. And you know what? I was fine with it. I'm like, that's okay, because this one's for me. This one's for me, from my heart and soul. Like, it's just, I feel like I need to write this. I feel like I need to publish this. Whoever is interested in reading this, I love you. That would be amazing and that would be great. And if I can help inspire someone like loves it. But this post, even though I knew that like there's a really good chance that people aren't going to read all of it, that it's a lot to read and all the things, I had to do it for me. I had to do it for me. Like my younger self, my current self, like it's a healing thing. I needed to do this. I needed to release this. For 2.5 weeks, it was like sitting inside of me, and it was like, girl, you need to just post it. Just post it. Just post it. And I was like, I don't know how to make this shorter. I don't know how to make this shorter. And I was like, you don't have to make this shorter. You just do it. You're doing it for you. So just do it your way, Stop fucking trying to follow all the rules that social media has to have. You have to do it this way, blah, 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 blah. Just do you, girl. Just do you. And that's what I did. I did just do me, and I posted it. and it felt so fucking good. It felt so good. And so I kind of do want to share real quick what I wrote, because I had a lot of realizations and downloads while creating this post. So I'm going to read it to you guys. And then I feel like, because, you know, the thing is, like, social media, like, you spend so much time, like, creating, like, this one video or this one post. And then guess what happens 24 hours later? It just vanishes kind of on the feed, and you keep posting more things. And that beautiful piece of art that you spent so fucking long on, it just vanishes. I don't want it to vanish. I think that this is such a healing exercise. And again, I highly, highly, highly would love for you to fucking do it yourself. Put it on social media. Who fucking cares who's going to read it and what? And if not, then take a notebook, take a journal, write it down somewhere. Do this with yourself this weekend, okay? Please. Okay, so I'm going to read you mine. I met my younger self for coffee. She showed up a little over 30 minutes late and apologized profusely with a well-rehearsed excuse, blaming it on LA traffic, thinking I'd buy it. And I just started bursting into laughter. Like, honey, can't blame me. I invented the game. I mean, you're cute. I bluntly thought about it, and then I said it to her. Let's have a moment for a second. Let me tell you about my younger self. You know what? No, hold on. I'm going to go one more paragraph. We both knew she only left the house at the exact time we planned for this meeting. We both laughed, and I told her it's all good. I showed up a few minutes early because I was so freaking excited to meet her. So let me tell you about my younger self. Go back to the 20-year-old Kim Cohen, the brand name. So intense, so serious. That bitch, I fucking love her. I actually initially started this whole thing and I wrote, I met my younger self for coffee. She was the best, ... She showed up 30 minutes late. And then I had to delete she was the best because it kind of wouldn't have fit on the fucking screen and it's really annoying. But I just thought of like how fucking ridiculous she was because that's what I would do. Like my younger self never showed up early to anything. I would constantly be late to meetings and things. I was a fucking kid. I didn't like the real world, meetings, like respecting people's time. Like, are you fucking kidding? Like, I'm the diva. Everyone waits for me. Like, that was the mindset. I was such a fucking cocky ass bitch. Super cocky, super entitled, and it's comical. And that's why I think she was the best. Like, sarcastic, like funny. Like, she was just ridiculous. And so if somebody told me if I had a meeting at 2, I would leave my house at 2. Knowing that LA traffic is going to take me an hour to get there, I would leave at 2. Like, I was fucking retarded that way. And I fucked up so many times. And I want to go back to this. Like, when I finished high school from 18 to 21, I was a model, a makeup artist, a singer, and I also did dance classes and things. I didn't really care to be a dancer, but I wanted to be famous. So I wanted to be like a model or a singer. The point is I just wanted like the easiest way to be famous. Like, it's so funny. It's so different now, but it's not. Like, how can I do the least amount and get paid the most? How can I do the least amount? It's like how I graduated high school. It's like the strategy of how can I do the bare minimum and pass is funny, but that was like the mindset. So it's like, how can I just be fucking pretty and not have to do jack shit and just get paid and be famous and get free clothes and free things? That was the mindset. Like, that's what I wanted. I never wanted a real job. I never had a 9 to 5. I was never cut out for the 9 to 5. So literally my entire life, I've never had a 9 to 5 because I just knew I was too good for it. Like, there was that cocky, arrogant, deserving personality trait, which everything I just said sounds like it's bad, but I actually think it's amazing. I think I'm fucking amazing. I think I always knew like my self-worth. My younger self had so much leaky energy. And it was very messy, but like she just knew what the fuck she deserved. And yeah, so this girl, I would always have meetings with photographers that would want to meet me for coffee in my modeling years. And I would just be the fucking dumb bitch cunt that woke up late, that was not responsible, that the meeting was at 12 and I just left my fucking house at 12 and I'm rushing through the fucking door and I knew that there was going to be traffic and I'm doing my makeup while I'm driving and driving with my fucking knee. And so bad. like swerving through lanes, changing clothes while I drive, showing up, rushing in, and apologizing profusely, like, I'm so sorry, there was so much traffic, I didn't even know, and it was just all a lie. I was just an irresponsible bitch that took no ownership of it. And so honestly, like, that was this ongoing thing that I always did. And it was so ridiculous. At least I own it. And so yeah, if I met my younger self, she would definitely try to pull that shit, blame it on LA traffic, and apologize profusely, like, I am so sorry, I'm so sorry. And like, I'd initially make the other person feel really bad, but a lot of people would be pissed at me that I didn't respect their time. I feel like I'd be called on it and I'd feel bad. I genuinely feel bad, but not enough to make a change. Like, there was no, it was like, okay, I was genuinely sorry. And I really felt bad that I made somebody wait for like a half an hour, and I would do that. And I wrote a half an hour, but really sometimes I would make people wait like 45 minutes. Like, I was a fucking cunt. Like, seriously, the worst, like, so bad. And I would have just apologized profusely and just be cute, and they would just forgive me. So if I met my younger self, she would try to pull this shit, and I'd be like, honey, I would laugh at her face. I'm like, honey, you can't play me. But like, I also have compassion and love for her like carelessness, which was a good thing and a bad thing. But yeah, we would both know that she left the house at the exact time we were supposed to meet up. Anyways, let's continue. So I showed up a few minutes early because that's what happens. That's actually how I show up in real life. Nowadays, I'm not late to things. I'll get there the exact time I'm supposed to get there. Or if I'm really excited about a meeting or a thing, I will show up like early, like before everyone else. Not like insanely early, but I'm just like so excited and I have butterflies in my stomach and I just can't wait for it to start. So if something's important to me, then I show up like early. Even when it is important to me, I'll show up on time. But like, if it's really important to me, I'll show up early. Okay. So like, if I was going to meet my younger self, I'd be so motherfucking excited. Like, I would show up early. Anyways, so she ordered a chai latte with extra whipped cream. She hated coffee. I hated coffee. I thought it was disgusting. I ordered an iced coffee with a splash of almond milk. I'm doing matcha recently more. I've been like stepping away from the coffee, but like for endless years, I did iced coffee. So I used that one. She was super excited to meet me. She was always obsessed with knowing her future. She rushed through life, wanting it all now, scared she'll die young and not get to have it all. So the first thing she asks was, so, did we make it? Are we famous? I glanced at her and smiled. I said yes, but not in the slightest way you've ever imagined. She asked, what does that mean? And I had to explain to her that we aren't quote unquote famous for our looks and sexy body, in parentheses, physical appearance. Like we once thought. We made it for making a difference in the world, for standing up for justice and what we believe in, for our wisdom, our courage, our knowledge, and our constantly wanting to make the world a better place. She looked at me proudly, yet confused. And she said, wait, but how? I thought I'm not smart. I told her, you're wiser and smarter than you currently realize, and it will take you some time to realize it. You've just been hanging around with the wrong groups of people for most of your life, but that will change once you understand your self-worth. She still seemed to be not understanding and made a confused face. It quickly changed the subject and asked about the one topic I knew she wanted to know most about. What about love? Tell me, did we find him? Our Prince Charming. Did we get her happily ever after? She was on edge and so impatient to know. She shared that she went to sleep super late because she was up all night waiting for the text from a boy who never wrote her back. And she thought he might be the one and asked with frustration, where is he already? I'm over it. I fixed my 2.5 carat engagement ring and wedding ring and showed her, almost bursting into tears of joy. Yes. You found him. We found him. Finally. But only recently. I then tried to explain to her that unfortunately, She'll think many boys are falsely, quote unquote, the one. And then one day, an amazing man will walk into her life in the most unexpected way, just like in the movies, just how she wanted it. And that man will make the wait all worth it. He will never make her second guess her self-worth again. She got overly excited. And then I saw that look in her eyes when she's trying to figure out how to make something happen faster and asked how soon. I didn't want to break her heart and tell her how long this was actually going to take. She would never understand. So I told her, not as soon as you expected, but promised her that during that time she would travel the world instead, live in different places, and travel to places beyond her wildest imaginations, and make an entire career out of it. I knew that would at least cheer her up. Because how could I have explained to her that her soulmate is 10 years younger than her and still be the most incredible, purest love of her life? I couldn't. She would never understand. She would think I'm nuts. She said, "We get to travel?" I said, "Yes, my love, to almost 70 countries. She asked how. I said, "You created it. You just made it up one day." She was shocked and excited. She then eagerly asked, "Did we at least find our purpose?" Want to know already so badly, frustrated and impatient. I said yes, but that also is going to take way, way longer than you think. It takes you years to figure that out. She looked at me and said, "Please don't tell me we became one of those boring people who goes to sleep early." I laughed. Never. Only now we stay up late, creating our dream lives and being creative instead of waiting for careless boys to text us back. She smiled with relief. Now she was just trying to figure out how to make it all happen faster. So that's what I wrote on that assignment. And again, as I said, like the actual real version was way longer and it's somewhere in my notes. And I honestly could have gone on and on for a really long time. I could have fucking written a book. I could have written a book. I feel like now I should write a book, like a mini book about this because, damn, I think I just got like an idea. I think that was very beautifully written and I had to like close it off with like some truthness and all the things. And I wanted to pinpoint at different areas. So obviously you can take like your, your looks or your dreams, but I really tried to think like, what would my younger self want to know most? So first of all, she always wanted to find out who the fuck the love of her life is, when she was going to get married, when she was going to have kids. I thought I was going to get married young and have kids young. Like my parents did. It was what I was trying to manifest. And I was engaged at the age of 22 and I thought, oh, I have it. I got it. I got what I wanted. But only to know that I was about to marry a narcissist, like a hardcore narcissist, and I would have been fucking miserable. So I'm so glad that did not work out. But the younger version of myself constantly went to psychics to try to scheme and figure out what would her future hold, how fast she can get things. And one of like the points that I talked about in my little poem or in my little exercise is the things that I wanted to know most about when I was 20 years old. So I wanted to know if I was famous. Yeah. Am I famous? Tell me that I'm famous. I wanted to know about where is he? Like, I need my soulmate. Where is the love of my life? Like, I always wanted to know about the love of my life, how many kids I was going to have. I would just do this. I would go to psychics constantly, ask them the same fucking questions. What is my purpose in life? Because I couldn't figure it out and I was like such a lost soul. And that's all like the younger version of myself really cared about. I also had this one area about like the types of clothes that we showed up in. Like we both wore brand new clothes and we were really over the top. Only the younger version of myself had a lot of cleavage. And I just really admired how she just gave zero fucks about what people thought about her and just wore whatever the fuck she wore and gave zero fucks and thought she was the fucking queen and the princess of the world. And I guess what I wanted to share is like what I learned. So I actually, doing this exercise, it was very eye-opening to me. I love my younger self. She was a fucking star. She was a fucking star, you guys. You don't even know. There was a reason why the whole entire high school called me Kim Cohen. Like, I was a fucking star. I was like the epitome of Kanye on fucking steroids. Like, I was a lot. I was so extra. I was a lot. I dressed like I was a fucking celebrity. I walked like I was a fucking celebrity. I walked and demanded shit that I actually did not deserve, but my energy was so deserving that I just got shit. Like, I had paparazzis chasing my ass. I was friends with Hollywood's elite, going to clubs with not Lindsay Lohan, but like Paris Hilton, Nicole Richie. I have to think of all the characters and all the pictures and all the things and all the crazy shit. But like, I would be at places with Lindsay Lohan. Like, I saw her a couple of times. Paris Hilton. It's just crazy fucking things. I've been to the Playboy Mansion, like all the things. And it was really because I had this zero fucks attitude. Like, I'm the fucking best. No one's fucking better than me. I had this like such a cocky as fuck attitude. I feel like that younger version of myself, she was fucking phenomenal. She was messy. There are times where I really look back and I reflect and I wish that I was her. There are a lot of times in my adult years, like in my current years, where I look back and I was like, that girl was so motherfucking fearless and so, I don't even know what the words are. She was just a fucking firecracker. She was a fucking star. She had stars in her eyes. She thought she was a star. She just was so deserving. She had such crazy self-worth. It was almost like insane. Like, it was a lot to keep up with. She had insane energy. She was so driven. She was so forceful. She was just so fucking nuts and crazy. And she had balls like no other. Like, no other. Like, I don't even know. Like, the shit that she would pull would just be so insane. There are times where I really miss her. But I also know that, like, she had so much leaky energy. She had a short temper. She would flip the fuck out. She would create scenes. She would get into fistfights at fucking bars and clubs. She was just a lot. I love her. I love that fucking girl. But I want to say that she was not very different than who I am today. She was a big dreamer. She wanted the whole fucking world. She thought she deserved the whole world. There's a lot of similarities. I feel like the person who I am today is like a more sharpened version of her. I feel like the person that I am today is I still am all those things. And my morals and values, a lot of them didn't full-blown change. Like, I was very like set on the fact that I wanted my soulmate and he was going to be fucking perfect. And I was not lowering my standards for jack shit. And like, there were a lot of things that I demanded at a very young age that was very like, I don't know, a lot of 20-year-olds that had those kind of ambitions and these kind of like tough as fuck, Leo as fuck, like views and beliefs and morals and values at such a young age. I feel like that version, though, definitely needed to be humbled a bit. She had a lot of leaky energy. She didn't have a lot of integrity. Like, she would promise things, not show up. She would show up late. She was not responsible at all. She had a short temper. She would cause scene if she could. She would fucking flip a table upside down. She was just so drama. She always had drama. She always had bad, shitty fucking friends, toxic relationships. There was a lot of great things, but then there was just like a lot of like unhealed trauma and wounds that girl carried. And I feel like the person I am today is a healeder version of who she was. But one thing that really stuck out to me while doing this exercise was noticing the fact that, like, at such a young age, I was so in the chasing energy, and like, I know it, but I never knew it to this extent where, like, at 21, I was ready to get married. I was ready to be famous. I was ready to find my purpose. I was ready to know it all. I was ready to have the money, the fame, the everything without thinking that I needed to earn it. I didn't think I needed to earn it. I thought it should just be fucking given to me because I was cocky like that. And, I was so cocky. And it was like this fun LA time and LA era. But like, it was an LA era where, Paris Hilton, Nicole Richie, Lindsay Lohan, Britney Spears were like these Hollywood girls that would go out to clubs and party and fucking go crazy. And Paris Hilton, like, it was like when I was 21 and like through like 18 to 22, even a little more, like, it was the era of Hollywood where like Paris Hilton would be like, that's hot. And like when someone would tell her you're so pretty, she'd be like, thanks, I know. And Well, it started off as a joke. Like, I was that girl. Like, if you told me you're so pretty, I'd be like, I know. And it started off as a joke, but then I actually was like, I would actually respond like that. Like, I was so fucking, I was so cringe. Oh my goodness. Um, so fucking funny. I would never say thank you. I would be like, I know. And like, again, it was meant to be a joke initially because Paris Hilton would constantly do that. But like when people be like, you're so hot or you're so pretty or you're so beautiful, I'd be like, I know. And tell me more. And it was fucking serious. I wasn't fucking kidding. Like so fucking cringe. Oh my God. I love how I can admit that. But hold on. What's really funny is that I was always chasing and I always wanted it now and I always wanted it now. And it was because I wanted it now because I don't know. I valued life in a different way. I really thought that I cheated death as a kid with that bus that blew up. And I was scared that I was going to die. My biggest fear was always that I was going to die young and not make all of my dreams come true. So I had to have them all now, fucking now. All together, all at once. I don't care. Like, I didn't care that I had to work through it or earn it. Like, I didn't give a fuck. I just wanted it now. So demanding. And what's interesting is that in theory, I got all the things that I wanted, but so much later on in life. I thought that I was going to get these things at the age of like 19 and 20, and I got them, a lot of them, like, in my mid 30s or in my mid 30s or early 30s or in my late 30s. Like some of these things literally happened like almost 20 years later. Like getting married 20 years later. I got married at 39. At fucking 19, 18, I was like, I'm fucking ready. Like, where is he? Where the fuck is he? Because I'm ready. Like, let's fucking go. Like, I wanted to get married at 19. I thought I was ready for it, like fucking delirious. Comical. But you know, that was that girl. And like finding my purpose, goddamn, like I fucking searched the motherfucking world to find my purpose. I wanted to know what it is already. I was so impatient. I wanted to know what it was. Like at 20, I was like, I'm fucking over it. I'm over it. I was already a model. I was already a singer. I was already like, you know, all these things. And like, I'm over it. Tell me what it is. And I didn't know that like, I wasn't going to find out what it is till later on. I started Vanilla Sky Dreaming, my travel blog, at the age of 28, and I thought that was my purpose, but it wasn't. My purpose is to actually serve others and help people and coach and mentor and take all the life lessons that I've been given, which are so much, and help heal people and inspire people and change people's lives, the people that actually want to be changed and inspired. That's what the fuck I was meant here to do. There was I don't know how long ago it was, maybe it was like a year ago or something, where I cried my eyes out on the balcony to God. And I was like, why did you send me here? And I heard to teach them how to love. And it was like, whoa. I had this like dark night of the soul. I was fucking crying my eyes out on the balcony, sobbing, crying to God like I'm fucking over it. Why the fuck did you send me here? Humans are they're so mean. They're so careless. They can just hurt you. You're just so disposable to them. Like they can just give you the most painfulest experiences. Like, why did you send me here? And I was crying underneath the stars, sitting on the balcony, like on the ground, hugging my knees. And God said to teach them how to love. And I was like, whoa, it blew my mind. And like, when I heard that, I was like, what does that even mean? And then I had to like sit with myself and be like, teach them how to love. What the fuck does that mean? And it took me some time to realize that like, it's beyond being the influencer that travels the world and does all the things, which is still great and it's amazing and it's part of my brand. It's not even about that. It's really to teach people how to love, teach people how to heal themselves, teach people how to overcome, teach people how to be better versions of themselves, feel more deserving, be the best version of themselves, have everything they've ever wanted. And I always knew that that was part of my purpose. Like I didn't know, but I knew. Like there was like snitches and bits and pieces that were like pointing at that direction, but it's like I had to go through so many lessons and learn like the small, hard way. I'm not saying that I discovered what my purpose was a year ago, but I'm gonna say that I learned what it was. Like, I thought it was vanilla sky dreaming. I thought it was to, like, I knew that it had to do, like, at 28, when I decided to be the travel blogger and travel the world and inspire people and show people to be courageous and go out there and make their dreams come true, like, that is part of it. It's part of it. But I didn't know, like, where that would evolve to and come to. And it's like, I get what the fuck I was meant here to do. I meant to have this fucking podcast. I meant to speak on large stages and inspire people and help people. Because that younger version of myself was such a damaged girl. She was beautifully broken. I would always label myself as beautifully broken. And I worked really fucking hard to heal myself, heal all of my traumas, most of my traumas. I can't say all, but like most of my traumas. And I can teach people how to do the very same. And I'm really, really fucking good at it. And so my purpose, I didn't discover till like mid-30s or 30s, right? Like the love of my life, it didn't come till I was like Ben. I met Ben at 35. And I was like, okay, can we just like get engaged and get married really fast? I just always wanted to do everything really fast because I always felt like I was running out of motherfucking time. And also like the being famous, right? It's like my younger self thought that she was going to become famous for her fucking looks. I thought I was stupid. I always thought I was stupid for many years. Like, not always, but like definitely 18 and under thought I was stupid because I was in ESL classes and I would be pulled out of like classes to do testing. And if you haven't heard that episode, the Gateway program, that I was part of the Gateway program, that's a really cool episode. But like, if you hear that episode, like I literally thought I was stupid for like at least 18 years of my life. Obviously a little bit more, but like my parents always thought I was dumb. Everyone always thought I was dumb. I like cheated my way through high school. I didn't think I was smart. So it's really crazy that, you know, my 18, 19, 20-year-old self, she like wanted to be famous. I wanted to be famous. I'll tell you what it was. I wanted to be famous for the wrong reasons. I wanted to be famous so that everyone can think I'm so amazing. So the people that fucked with me in high school and bullied me in elementary school and to my parents and everyone that always thought I was dumb and incapable and stupid and not going to amount to much and people that hated on me, I wanted to become famous at a young age so that I can be like, fuck you. You see my self-worth now? Like, I'm fucking famous. Now suck my dick. That was the vibe. That was really the reason why I wanted to become famous. I wanted people to love me. But it wasn't from like a soul-based place. It was from a very broken place. And I thought I'd be famous because I'm pretty. And I thought that was enough. I didn't think I had to work hard. God forbid. Like anytime anytime it involved working hard, I was just like, I'm out. Okay, you have to work hard at this. You have to actually practice like your vocal lessons and you have to practice poses and no. I want it easy. So if it's hard, I'm out. I quit. I was such a big fucking quitter. And so I never thought that I would actually be famous, quote unquote, one day. I don't see myself as famous, but people do, but like whatever. I didn't think that I was actually going to make it for anything beyond my looks. And only when I moved out of my parents' house, I started to understand that I'm actually smarter than I realized, because everyone would tell me, wow, you're so smart. And I'd be like, me? No, I'm stupid. Like, you know, people would always say too, there was like this like kind of a slang word would be like, you're so stupid, ha ha ha. It's like the sarcastic thing. I literally thought I was stupid. And so when my younger self met my current self and she asked her, are you famous? Are we famous yet? And she's like, yeah, but not in the slightest way that you ever thought. It's not going to be for your looks, and like it's going to be for your wisdom, for your courage, for your, you know, for you fighting for justice, for you fighting for the fucking planet, like for all the things. And my younger self was so fucking confused, like, wait, but I'm not. I thought I'm not smart. You know, that was the things that I wrote on there. But I guess like my younger self always rushed through life, and I wish I could just tell her, honey, stop. Like, don't run. Like, enjoy the moment, which she did. She enjoyed the moment. Trust me, she fucking enjoyed the moment. And at the same time, I wouldn't tell her to change anything at all because I think that she was beautiful and perfect. A beautiful mess, but she was perfect. But I realized that a lot of the things that most people got in their early 20s or mid 20s, I wanted them before everyone else, and I got them way later than everyone else. And, I want to be a mother one day. I'd love that to be right fucking now. I'd love that to be a half a year ago. I'd love that to be a fucking year ago, or 2 or 3 or 10, right? I would have loved that, right? And once again, the universe is like, nope, you gotta wait. I want to be a mother of 4. And it's like, what's crazy too is, I guess like the point is like, I got everything I wanted, knock wood. Let's knock wood. And the last thing on like that map is like, being a mom. And I want 4 kids, and I always wanted 4 kids, and I've been trying to rush it. And I learned that every single time in the past that I've tried to rush things, it ended up backfiring. I tried to rush trying to get pregnant, and then guess what happened? I got pregnant with twins and had a miscarriage. I tried to rush getting married, and guess what happened? I was engaged at 22 and had my fucking life and heart shattered like no fucking tomorrow. I tried to be famous in Hollywood, and I got like screwed so many times. Anytime I try to rush things, I got fucked. The universe smacked me with a fucking crazy wake-up call. And I think that's powerful and wild and crazy and all the things. And yeah, so now I'm at this place where I want to get pregnant, and I want to, be a mom. And so if I can learn anything from meeting my younger self for coffee, is that the younger version of myself was constantly trying to rush through life and trying to rush through things, but she didn't need to rush them. They were always going to happen for her. She just didn't need to be in that anxiety survival mode energy. It was always going to happen for her. She just needed to be patient. She's a very impatient person. She's still a very impatient person, but she's learned to be a lot more patient. And so then I flip and reverse the game on myself, and I say, okay, well, now me, in this very current moment in time, there's me. I'm going to put aside the younger version of myself, the 20-year-old meeting the 39-year-old version of myself. But what about like flipping a script and pretending for a second that I'm the 39-year-old younger version of myself, and now there's like a future version of myself, right? There's like the 50-year-old version of myself. That's so fucking weird to say. Or like the 45-year-old version of myself. What would my 45-year-old or 50? I can't say 50. It freaks me out. It gives me cringe energy. The 45-year-old version of myself, like what would she tell my 39-year-old self? So I'm flipping a script like that. And I feel like my 45-year-old self would definitely have kids by then. And she would probably tell my 39-year-old self, stop rushing. You're going to have it all. You're going to have it all. So stop freaking the fuck out. I wish during those times and those years when you were, in your late 30s, you were freaking out about trying to make babies super, super fast and rushing through it super, super fast and having instant gratification super, super. I wish you'd have just surrendered and let it be. So that's the message that I'm giving my current self, is that I always knew that I was going to be a mom. I have dreams about it. I knew it from a very young age. I'm very, very motherly. I have motherly instincts. It's how I treated my little sisters since I was a kid. I'm always supposed to be a mother in this lifetime, and I know it like I fucking know my name. And sometimes I forget that like it's written in the stars for me. So stop trying to fucking rush shit. Just like let it be, So when you do that exercise, also flip the script and do what I'm telling you to do, right? There is like the wiser version of yourself, the person that you are right now, talking to your younger self. But then there's also a version of you where you are the younger version of yourself. And who would like your future self? What would your future self, like from 5 years down the line or 10 years down the line, what would she tell the you right here in the now? Think about that. It's deep. It really is. Well, I hope you enjoyed this podcast episode. I'll see you on the next one.